Welcome back. It's nice when you can be creative while learning history. Now, two organizations joined together to bring us the Art of Voting Creation Station. And so with us on the couch today is the Executive Director of the Illinois Art Station, Hannah Johnson, and co-chair of the Project 15 Museum, Michael Mielek. So thank you both for joining us here today.
Thanks for having us.
So we'll start with Hannah. So could you give us some background information about the Illinois Art Station?
Yeah, absolutely. So Illinois Art Station in Normal is a youth art education organization founded by a professor of developmental psychology. So basically our mission is to provide young artists and families from all neighborhoods and backgrounds with transformative experiences in the visual arts.
Oh, that is amazing. And so Michael, now could you share about Project 15 Museum?
Sure. Project 15 started out of a classroom project that I have. I'm a teacher at El Paso Gridley High School, Go Titans. And the class decided that they wanted to do a museum around an El Paso resident named David Strother, who is the first black man in Illinois to cast his vote after the passage of the 15th Amendment. And then from there, we expanded to talk about not only David Strother's life and legacy, but also the other things that he was involved in, like the Civil War and riverboats and things like that. He lived here in Peoria for a while. And we wanted to expand it to talk about the history of voting and how some people have had to fight for that right to vote. So that's kind of what the museum's about.
Nice. So how did we get this collaboration between the two?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like in some ways it was professional relationships turned personal relationships turned professional again. And so with my background at the McLean County Museum of History, early on connected with Project 15 in their infancy, and we're able to translate those relationships to Illinois Art Station. And so, yeah, I think we've just made a commitment to each other to think creatively about the ways that our organizations can continue to intersect as Project 15, establishes itself within the Central Illinois community.
Okay, and so Michael, could you tell us about this debut of the Creation Station? Where, when is it debuting, and what is the Creation Station?
So the Creation Station is going to be a piece in our classroom at the museum where guests, patrons can go and really explore and expand what they've experienced, and then also use their imaginations to kind of go beyond just what has already happened in the past and explore what future possibilities might be.
Okay, and so where can we see this Creation Station?
Sure, it's in El Paso at the Project 15 Museum. It's the first thing when you get downstairs into the museum proper. The classroom is right in front of you, front and center, and then the Creation Station will be right there on the left.
Nice. And so what are y'all looking forward to as people see the Creation Station?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Michael said, it really expands that opportunity to engage with the content. We know that especially when we're thinking about topics, potentially as heavy as the history of voting rights and how those have expanded and contracted over time, how it remains relevant to folks' lived experiences today, that there's value in exploring those themes in different ways, especially hands-on, right, and kind of almost self-guided. And so they're able to take what they learn from the museum, what they unlearn, what they relearn from the museum, contextualize that in a very physical, hands-on way, and really have this kind of personal reconciliation with a difficult time in history and kind of this contemporary experience that we all share.
Okay. And so we thank you all for joining us today. I know the Creation Station, our producer is going to pop it up right on the screen, will debut at the Project 15 annual block party this weekend. So could you give us a quick rundown of what those details are?
You bet. So David Strother, his birthday is August 17th, and so every year we throw him a birthday party. We shut down Central Street between Front and First Street, and we have show choirs. Our show choir is one of the best in the nation, so they'll perform for us. Reverend Hightower of the Peoria NAACP is going to talk about Strother's legacy and what it means to the community. And then we'll have a little karaoke as well. It's this Saturday, 5 to 8 p.m. In El Paso. 1 West Front Street is our address, but if you're in El Paso, you really can't miss it.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us again. We'll have this full interview on our website, ciproud.com.
You're watching WMBD News at 4.